Hey everybody, Monty here, and we're just wrapping up our first week back from spring break. So the first thing I think would be worth doing today is have a temperature check. I know some of your other teachers do that, and I think now would be a good time to pause the video and just kind of close your eyes and think, temperature check. If 5 was a great week, how did this week go? You're getting back into the swing of things, you're getting tired of this, it was miserable. So 5 for great, 3 for I survived, and 1 not very good. So pause the video, you guys take a break, and let's do a temperature check. And maybe there's a discussion about it, maybe there's not a discussion about it, but just kind of close your eyes, do the temperature check. And then it'd be kind of cool if you were to look around and see how other people are doing. Are you doing better? Are you doing worse? How are things going? All right. Now, calculator activity. We're going to do a couple puzzles today, but before we do that, I think it's time we do a calculator activity. Some of you have a phone. Take your phone out, find your calculator, and we need to go both directions. Okay? Got a regular calculator and then the scientific calculator. The computer. Find a calculator that you're going to use on your computer. You're going to use the desktop app, the computer app, or use the computer app, and you got the standard and the scientific. We're going to need the scientific. All right? And many of you downloaded the Webbit. So find which one you're going to use, and then we'll be able to do a couple of different activities today to help us for the rest of the year, because we're going to be using the calculator a lot the rest of the year. Practically every time we do homework from now on, we should have a calculator. All right. So the first thing I want to do is talk about percentages. You guys remember percentages from middle school? Okay, and then we're going to do some SOHCAHTOA. All right, we've been working on that. What does it mean to use a calculator to do SOHCAHTOA? And those of you that logged into Mathia might have got caught by surprise, because the very first thing it asked for was percentages. Why do we need that? And then we had to actually watch the Mathia calculator do this number percentage thing. What was that all about? And then we'll finish the day with a couple of puzzles. All right, so let's get started. Always got to have our quotes for the day. All right, so take chances, make mistakes. That's how you grow. Pain nourishes courage. You have to fail in order to practice being brave. Okay? It's hard to just walk in and say, I don't know how to do something, but I'm going to attack it. I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to practice it. And then on your little note page, you might write down the name Mary Tyler Moore. Mary Tyler Moore passed away a couple of years ago. Famous actress from the 70s. Not my generation, Mr. Miller's generation. All right, let's get started. Percentages. You guys remember percentages from middle school? All right. The very first thing I want to do is have a little discussion about percent. Percent. So everybody write down that on your note page, and Mr. Miller should have this sheet he can hand to you. Percent. Here's the symbol. Percent. Cent. When you think of the word cent, what comes to mind? Pennies. How many pennies in a dollar? 100 pennies per dollar. So now if I have 10 pennies, what do I have? 10 pennies out of 100 gives me 10%. Serious. The key to success on percent is 100 pennies. We divide by 100 to get percent. Divide by 100 to get percent. Multiply by 100 to get the number. Okay. All right. So now, hopefully, you wrote a little bit of that down on your sheet. Now, 30% of 15 is what number? You remember that? And this is pretty much when students started to say, I hate math. I don't want to have anything to do with math. Okay? All right, so before we get started here, I want to show you one of the problems. First of all, in the classroom, we have all these fancy calculators. These things cost $100 a piece. Okay? Seriously, over $100 a piece. And there's no percent button. There's no percent key. I can't believe it. Then you go to this calculator, and when it's in scientific mode, there's no percent key. But then we go to standard mode, and there's a percent key. But have you ever used the percent key? Okay, so we're going to study that. Then I'm going to turn on my phone here, and there is a percent key. Have you ever used the percent key? Okay, every time you go to the store, they charge you tax. They add tax to your purchase, and it's a button. It's a percent key. Does anybody know what it does? All right, so I just want to spend a few minutes on this today before we get to our puzzles. All right, so the very first thing I'd like everybody to do is, if you had a highlighter, it'd be cool. If you don't, that's okay. Of. What does of mean? Is. What does is mean? Okay, so of in math means multiply. Okay, is in math means equal. Okay, so multiply equal. Now I'm going to grab my highlighter again because of, wrong color. Of is. Okay. So now let's try to make sense of this. 30% of 15. 30% of 15 equals the unknown. Equals the unknown. Step 1. Anytime you see the percent, that is a number divided by 100. Okay? So, 40% of 60. 40% 40 of 100 pennies is 40% of times 60 is. Okay? Alright. Now, you just grab a calculator and do it. But I want to show you the keystrokes. Alright? So first let's go to just a traditional, inexpensive calculator with a percent. Okay? So step one, let's move me. Step one, we got to get the 40%. 40%. 40 divide by 100%. What? Okay. Keystroke activity. In this case, we got to go the 60 first and then the times. 60 times 40%. See, the 40 divided by 100 equals. Okay. Let's do that again. But this time we're going to use the fancy calculator. Okay. Now, 40%. There's no percent key. So you have to actually type in 40 divided by 100. Then we got the 0.4. Remember how we had the 0.4 here? We had 60 times 40%, the 0.4. Alright, so now we got the 0.4, and we're going to times 60 to get the 24. Alright, so pause the video, you guys try number 9. Spoiler alert! Alright, 65% of, so 65 over 100 times the 120, okay? And I'm going to use this one because I have a feeling a lot of you have this type of a calculator. My phone works the same way. So on my phone, I would have to go 65, where are we at here? 65. I got to go 120 times 65%, 65%, and then hit the equal to get 78. Okay? So, either way, if you want, you could also use parentheses. Now, a lot of you might remember back in middle school, the shortcut. The shortcut. Shortcut to percent was to move the decimal point 2 places. Okay? Shortcut, move the decimal point 1, 2. Okay? Percent, 100, 1, 2 decimal points. Alright? Nothing wrong with that. Move it over to 40%. Move it over to 28%. Okay? Pause the video and you guys do it. Now, on Mathia this week, they said you have the number 0.866. You had to convert to a number, to the percent, 86.6%. Okay? So now I'm going to give you 121% and 16%. You guys go backwards. What do you get? Pause the video and you try. Spoiler alert. Okay, I'm going to move it over 1, 2, 1.21. 0.12.16. Okay, and on these you move it over twice, 76%. Move it over twice, 44%. All right. Now, you got this calculator. It's all goofed up, and you got all this stuff on it, right? On your fancy calculator, your Webbit, you want to learn to clear the RAM, clear the memory. So, second plus 712. Okay? So everybody, grab your TI and go second. Boom. Plus 7 7 1 1 2 2. Now we've started over clear and fresh. Alright? Cool. Now you should have this RAM cleared. We're ready to do work. Alright? But in SOHCAHTOA, in geometry, we're used to seeing triangles with degrees. 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees. Alright? They're all in degrees. But our calculator does not default to degrees. The calculator defaults to radians. So now, Mr. Miller's handing you this cheat sheet. Don't lose this cheat sheet. This cheat sheet will show you how to get to degrees. So let's follow this. Press the mode button. Everybody find the mode button right next to the second. Boom. Make sure degree is highlighted. Mine says radians. Toggle, toggle, toggle over. Now it's flashing. If it isn't, scroll down to the word degree and press enter. Boom. Now I'm in degree mode. Okay? Press the second button, followed by the mode button to return to the main screen. Boom. I'm in the proper mode. Now, with trigonometry, we want to practice this. So now I'd like you to pause the video, and in class, we're here for 42 minutes. Let's take 10 minutes. In the next 10 minutes, just go to your calculator and type in sin 51. That's called the sine, and you get a number, 0.7771, to the nearest 10,000th. 10,000th, that's 4 decimal places, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0.7771. Okay? I would like everybody to take 10 minutes and just crank out all 17 of them. Okay? This wraps up this part of the video. In class, I'd like everybody to have done this calculator activity. We appreciate you doing that because we will be using the calculator the rest of the school year. And then in the next video, we need to work on some puzzles. See you soon.